Namaste, my beloved friends. Shani Mahadasha is not an ordinary phase of life. It is that time cycle where life starts giving you results. Not just the results you want, but the results you deserve. Because Shani does not reward your dreams, Shani rewards your karmas. And the biggest truth is this: in Saturn Mahadasha, things will materialize. Your desires will manifest. Your expectations will either become reality or they will break into pieces. But it all depends on one major factor. What did you attain during your Guru Mahadasha? Jupiter Mahadasha. Because Jupiter Mahadasha is the phase of learning and Saturn Mahadasha is the phase of examination. If there was no learning, if you remained the same ignorant person, arrogant, offending people, then tell me, in Saturn Mahadasha, what good will manifest? What good will materialize? Absolutely nothing. Because Saturn has a very important task. Saturn's mission is to bring arrogant people back to their senses. Those who are living in ignorance, those who are living in ego. Saturn drags them back to reality. And this reminds me of a real incident. I used to visit a shrine, a dargah, and there was an old man who was always there. He was old, around 65 years old at that time. I used to go there regularly and we became friends. He was fond of me and I was fond of him. We used to sit there, we used to pray, and truly it was a beautiful time. One day I went there and he told me, in the morning a woman came. She seems to be very rich. She came in a big car. She got down and she came here. At that point of time, I was sweeping the floor. Because he used to clean the entire shrine all around it, he was the only person there serving the space. That woman looked at him and said, "Are you a cleaner?" Now the woman couldn't understand how a 65-year-old man can be a sweeper. But she was in arrogance. She had lots of money but no brain. So, in a very bad taste, she said, "Are you a cleaner, a sweeper?" But this old man was wise. He calmly said, "Yes, I am a sweeper." And she looked at him and said, "Okay." And then she went to enter the shrine. And as she was about to enter, suddenly she slipped. She fell on the ground. You see, the master is not angry if you insult him, but the master becomes angry when you insult his near and dear ones. That old man had served that master, whose shrine it was, for many, many years. And when you come without logic, without brains, and insult him by asking if he is a sweeper, you are insulting the master. And the master will punish you. And that is exactly how Saturn punishes you. When you have been arrogant, offending, living in your own world, as if you are the only king or queen. But if you are a beautiful person in your Guru Mahadasha, if you learnt your lessons in your Guru Mahadasha, if you became humble, if you became wise during your Guru Mahadasha, then in Saturn, Shani Mahadasha, you will see the beautiful results of those evolved qualities. All that maturity, all that humility, all that wisdom will manifest in a beautiful way during Shani Mahadasha. So my friends, Saturn Mahadasha is completely based on Guru Mahadasha. Guru Mahadasha is like a university and Saturn Mahadasha is the university of life where now you gain actual real life experiences. I have discussed a lot about Saturn Mahadasha. I have talked about every Saturn Antardasha period, starting from Saturn-Saturn and ending with Saturn-Jupiter, the peak, the last stage, the final maturity. So do listen to this podcast, and very soon, next month, my new book is coming, Black Magic and the Birth Chart. And in this book, I have also mentioned the significance of karma, which is directly connected to Saturn. Saturn wants you to focus on expanding your awareness, expanding your consciousness. It is necessary that you understand all these things. Always remember, if I say something directly to the point, it may make no sense. I have to give you a platform, a certain foundations, so that you yourself can find the point. Remember, truth is not given, truth is discovered. Always remember, a true teacher is only a pointer to the truth. The truth you need to find yourself. And on this note, let us begin with this podcast on Saturn Mahadasha and all the Saturn Antardasha periods and its practical planet results. Shani, the most practical planet, Shani or Saturn, is a very practical planet by nature. And usually people born in Saturn's zodiac signs, Capricorn and Aquarius, are extremely pragmatic people. So the very first message of Saturn Mahadasha is you ought to be practical. And if you are not, you will soon become a spiritual loser. Because many people have strange ideas about spirituality. As if you are spiritual, you must not think about money. You must not think about sex. You must not think about family. You must not think about relationship. As if you must keep smiling and offer everything for free. But if this is what you think spirituality is, then you are making an ass of yourself. The very first lesson of spirituality is to be practical. And that is why Saturn, in the true sense, is practical. And because Saturn is spiritual, Saturn is practical to the core. In the state of Maharashtra, my home state, there have been many great saints. One of them was Saint Eknath. Saint Eknath loved his Guru so much that he referred to himself as Eka Janardhan. Eka stands for Eknath. Janardhan was the name of his Guru. Janardhan Swami was also a great poet and saint. He was a devotee of Lord Dattatreya. It is said Lord Dattatreya gave him darshan many times during his lifetime. And Janardhan Swami was appointed as the governor of the fort at Daulatabad by its Muslim occupants. A great spiritually enlightened saint, and still he was guarding a fort. Many times he had to go out in the battlefield and fight for his state, and then again he would come back into his meditation room and go into deep meditation. So you see, whatever was expected from him, he delivered. He would go out, he would fight, kill the enemy soldiers, and return back and sit in meditation. This is how a true spiritual person is. He does what needs to be done. He does what needs to be done. That is being practical. Just like Janardhan Swami, his disciple Eknath Maharaj was also very practical. Once Janardhan Swami was in deep meditation. A soldier came rushing, saying he needed to meet the Swami urgently. Eknath Maharaj asked why. The soldier said, enemy forces have gathered near the city. Eknath Maharaj didn't want to disturb his Guru's meditation. But the situation was urgent, so he thought quickly. He rushed to the room where the battle armor was kept. He prayed intensely to the Guru, put on the Guru's battle armor, and rushed to where the soldiers were waiting. Praying to his Guru, he went to the battlefield. Seeing Eknath Maharaj clad in Janardhan Swami's armor, the soldiers believed he was Janardhan Swami, and they went to battle with him. They fought hard under Eknath Maharaj's brave leadership, and soon the enemy forces were destroyed. Eknath Maharaj returned to the fort victorious. Immediately, he changed back into his usual clothes. He put the Guru's battle armor back and returned to his daily sadhana service unto God, as if nothing had happened. Soon Janardhan Swami awoke from meditation and he heard the victory cries, Janardhan Swami ki Jai. He couldn't understand why they were celebrating. When he heard the full story, he realized it was his disciple who fought. He asked, Dear Eknath, how did you manage to lead the army? Eknath Maharaj replied, Swamiji, before going to battle, I just prayed to you and you did the rest. Janardhan Swami was pleased with his brave devoted disciple. So a true disciple is practical. When it comes to saving his nation, his people, he does not hesitate. Janardhan Swami took Mahasamadhi and Saint Eknath took Jala Samadhi. You can understand the heights of enlightenment these masters attained. And the reason I shared this example is simple. It is perfectly fine to be practical while being spiritual. Do not let people take advantage of your spirituality. Be as practical as you can, because at the end of the day, you will be judged based on how responsibly you carried out your duties towards your people, your society, your nation. And this is the strong message of duty-driven Lord Saturn, Shani Dev. If you forgot your duty, you will be punished in Shani Mahadasha. But if you are sincere, dutiful, practical, and still compassionate and human, then Shani Mahadasha becomes highly beneficial. But if you are like those hypocrites who escape responsibilities and wear a mask of a monk, Saturn teaches them a good lesson. And so the whole test of Saturn Mahadasha depends on how much you have learned and unlearned in Guru Mahadasha. If you attained wisdom in Guru Mahadasha, you become a ready student, prepared to take on the world. But if you didn't evolve, if you were a disinterested student, then it is like a novice entering corporate life. And because you didn't learn properly, you struggle a lot in Saturn or Shani Mahadasha. So the overall results of Shani Mahadasha are highly individualistic. They differ from person to person. But one thing is clear. If Saturn is retrograde in your chart, Saturn Mahadasha may not be beneficial from money perspective, but it will certainly open doors to your inner journey. It will make you realize your life purpose. And now I will share the generic results. I repeat, generic results that one would experience during Shani Mahadasha. As I have already mentioned that Shani Mahadasha or Saturn Mahadasha is highly individualistic and much depends on inner growth that happened during Guru Mahadasha. So the first Saturn-Saturn Antardasha. This first period is good for a boost in career and income. If Saturn is well placed and in a good nakshatra, then the person gains a higher position in society. When Saturn is positive, Rahu and Ketu are also positive, because Saturn is connected with past life karma, prarabdha karma. Rahu placement shows the quality of your desires. Ketu placement shows your desirelessness. Bhagwan Raman Maharshi says, desire constitutes Maya and desirelessness is God. So Rahu is Maya, illusion, and Ketu is ultimate truth, God consciousness. So when Saturn is strong, you had good quality desires and also some level of detachment where Ketu is placed. And therefore, Saturn-Saturn period can bring growth and status. But if Saturn is not placed well, challenges increase, career feels stuck. So it depends on Saturn placement in your chart and the nakshatra in which Saturn is placed. The next Antardasha is Saturn-Mercury. If Saturn and Mercury are well placed, you get easy loans. You have edge over competitors. You implement new business ideas, or in service, you do exceptionally well in project work. Analytical mind becomes more powerful. So for analysts, this is a progressive period. But if Saturn and Mercury are not placed well, then more debts, bad loans, and start of debacle if finance is not controlled. For some, this also marks chronic diseases. Depression, frustration is possible if Mercury is retrograde in your chart, or Saturn plus Mercury both are retrograde in your chart. The next Antardasha is Saturn-Ketu Antardasha. You start getting clarity in matters that Ketu signifies. If Ketu is in 7th house, you realize wife's significance and sacrifices. Depending on house placement, you see truth as it is. You come face to face with truth. Saturn is committed, mission driven. Saturn knows destination. Ketu is opposite, not bothered about destination. So confused people gain clarity here if Saturn is strong. However, if Saturn is not well placed, then unexpected changes and shocks come during this period. The next Antardasha period is Saturn-Venus. This period gives maturity to manage relationships with women. If Venus is positive, then quality of life improves. Alignment with partner increases. When Venus aligns with Saturn, you are bound to see maturity in your partner or a mature partner. Remember, many people know you, but very few understand you. People find soulmate during this period. It is a great period for finances and job growth. Medical domain or lawyers, your practice grows during this time. And you may see restrictions in love or in love affairs if Venus is retrograde. Otherwise, love and financial growth is promised during this time. Saturn-Sun Antardasha period. Sun signifies creative expression. Recognition comes for creativity. Awards are possible during this time. You become role model for young freshers. During this period, you become an established entrepreneur, an established professional. You become a big daddy or big mommy. During this period, you can attain promotion or authority. Problems come only if Sun is afflicted by Rahu, Venus or Ketu. Otherwise, seniority manifests. Society recognizes your value, influence and respect. The next Antardasha period is of Saturn and Moon. During this period, integrity scales up. Path-breaking inventions, discoveries are possible. Samartha Ramdas Swami in his spiritual book Das Bodh says, "Bestow upon me the quality of being crafty like a fox, because in material world you need cleverness to defeat enemies and overcome challenges. Businessmen must be crafty, politicians must be crafty, otherwise opponents will finish you. During this period, native becomes clever and strategic. Courage increases. Office politics is handled strongly during this time. And victories come in court cases, diplomacy, and office politics. Also, you gain a good property during this time. Saturn Moon reminds you of a clever crew. The next Antardasha period is of Saturn Mars. Saturn drives Mars energy economically and practically. Saturn controls Mars now. Life speed becomes well managed. Mars is out of control soldier. Saturn is a disciplined administrator. Wonderful period for high government private positions. Senior executives are rewarded for management skills during this period. Balance between work and family becomes strong. Mars is exalted in Capricorn because Saturn controls Mars. You become assertive, not aggressive. Maturity with siblings, land property matters is seen during this time. Churning leads to treasures of prosperity. Problems only if Mars is retrograde or Mars is with Rahu or Ketu in your birth chart. The next Antardasha period is of Saturn Rahu. Result depends on Saturn quality. Positive Saturn indicates positive prarabdha karmas. Desire is Rahu, so desire's fulfillment is likely during this period. Rahu intensifies the drive. You become mature administrator planning strategically, like a skilled player in final game, giving his or her master stroke. Perfect period for senior politicians and senior executives. If Rahu is powerful, then the native wins and becomes big boss whom the world salutes. And then comes the final Antardasha period of Saturn-Jupiter. This is the last stage of Saturn Mahadasha. Native learns lessons fully. Wisdom and seniority ripens. He is now ready to deliver the message during his upcoming Mercury Mahadasha. You graduate from University of Life. Jupiter Mahadasha was thesis and lectures. Saturn Mahadasha was real life experiences. Now you become a full moon, a ripe fruit. Many become mentors. Many are recognized for their mentorship. Peak career stage is during this period, and people seek advice from you now. As Saturn Mahadasha ends, you understand with great power comes great responsibility. And so, my friends, Saturn Mahadasha is the sculptor of the soul. Saturn Mahadasha is a journey of triumph and fulfillment. Saturn is like a skilled artist molding a sculpture from raw material, symbolizing personal growth and self-discovery through challenges. Saturn refines and strengthens you, transforms you into a masterpiece that stands the test of time. This transformative period leaves a legacy of resilience, growth, and profound transformation, equipping you to face future endeavors with confidence and grace. Saturn Mahadasha breathes life into your journey and leaves behind personal transformation. But remember, the exact results depend on who you are. If your ego is fat, arrogance is too much, ignorance is too high, then Saturn's duty is to bring you back to senses, to make you realize you are as good as an ant on this planet. And this realization comes only through hardship, pain, suffering. Because for an arrogant, egoist, offending person, suffering is necessary. But if you are evolved, humble, understanding, human, then Saturn's workload is less. Saturn doesn't punish you because you have already come back home to your root, to your source, to consciousness. For such a humble person, Saturn Mahadasha becomes highly beneficial. Saturn helps you reach the highest point of career. People recognize you as compassionate, a beautiful person. And always remember, be kind whenever possible. It is always possible. For the kind, compassionate, wise person, Saturn becomes a dear friend, takes you deeper into reality, and makes you a truly evolved soul. And always remember, one who realizes that to understand everything is to forgive everything is a man of awareness. And such a man of awareness is always found to be happy, always. Jai Sri Ganesha, Jai Guru, Jai Shanidev.